How do you plan on resolving conflicts and clashing leadership styles on board?
So in terms of conflicting leadership styles, I actually find it to be a really great advantage when people have a large spectrum of leadership styles, but I do see that sometimes they can clash. But one thing that I would say in terms of trying to find the balance between these conflicting leadership styles is just to have more conversations about our leadership styles as a group. Kind of knowing yourself and knowing your strengths and your weaknesses gives you the opportunity to know when to kind of draw back from some of the tendencies that might be more fiery in discussions, or if you know that you're someone who might be more reserved as your leadership style and you don't agree with someone else's, it's a really good opportunity for us to just be more open and talk about our strengths and our weaknesses. Yeah, that's how I would answer that.
What is an area of Troy-Fi that you think needs to be improved?
So one thing that I think needs to be improved, that's a pretty broad question, but I think I'm going to narrow that down to executive board. I feel like burnout was a really big issue this year. A lot of board members mentioned they felt pressure to not only emulate the work of their predecessors, which is not expected of them by any means, but it also sometimes led to them not asking for help when they really needed it. And as a result, they might have felt really overwhelmed. But I would really want to try to alleviate this by, first of all, encouraging more affirmations throughout board meetings. I started this in the fall semester. I had a form where people would submit just affirmations to their fellow board members, congratulating them on their events, and just whatever positive sayings that you would say to your fellow friends to get them through the day. I would try to emphasize that we have that at each meeting. And in addition to that, I think there needs to be a better distribution of tasks. If I had the chance, I would have asked for board members, I would have enforced that board members give more tasks to interns, because this doesn't only give them an opportunity to have more hands-on experience with the board positions that they could potentially hold in the future, but oftentimes it's just going to be a lot lifted off the plate of the e-board member who is experiencing a lot of overwhelming feelings with their responsibilities.
What lessons did you learn as IVP that will help you as president?
So one thing that I definitely learned as IVP was I definitely defined myself as a leader, probably for the first time in my life. I didn't hold many leadership positions before I got to college, but I can now identify myself as a nurturer, a listener, someone that you can trust, someone who's always going to be there for you to support you. And that was one of the most important lessons that I took away from being IVP. I also just learned how to trust myself as a leader. In the beginning, I was a lot more self-conscious about how I might be perceived by others. But once I kind of got over that and realized no matter what I'm doing my best to deliver them the resources that I believe can help them in the future and help them grow. So by doing that, I can't do any wrong. And lastly, I just learned that through being IVP, there's multiple hours that I had to dedicate to the position, sometimes 8 to 9 hours a week. But no matter what, if you love what you do, it never feels like a chore or a bother. So that's what I found with being IVP. I was never put down by the workload because I really loved what I did.
We have one more question left. Evan?
Yeah. Do you have any post-grad plans or other commitments that might interfere with your duties as president?
Right now, I can't even tell you what my post-grad plans are. I think possibly pursuing a progressive degree. Maybe at some point I'll study for the GRE, but I can't even tell you definitely what my plans are post-grad.
Okay, really quickly, what is the role of president of Troy-Fi in your eyes? Sorry.
The role of president in my eyes is to be a supporter and be a cheerleader for your fellow general members, not necessarily taking
Time.
control, but okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.